Hi, John Mark Fernandez or Mark Senpai.
Hello,
Thanks
Scarlett.
for joining. Yes, hello. Please call me Sheree. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. So we're waiting for the others to come in. Okay, Bjorn is there already. And I think also we're waiting for Distort Monsters. Bjorn, we already sent you an invite to speak. I'm not sure if you got it. Or you can request, pwede rin. Mhm. Not sure if you got our. So welcome everyone. Welcome Bjorn, the Digital Pinoy, Sifkra, Andre, Mervin, Mary, Shar, Boring Forever, Megs, Jean, Johnny Boy, Mac, John Joaquin, Bernadette, Mating Galang. Oh, thanks for your message, Mating Galang. I'm really glad you like your Hoya. Ace Montegudo, Malu, thanks for being here. Okay. Where is Luis? There. All right. We're also okay. So today is let's wait for a few more minutes. Um, we have let me message. I've been messaging Distort, so I think he's I think joining in shortly. Yeah, he's not yet here. So Bjorn, if you can check out your our DM or my DM to you. Maybe check it out later when you have the time. It's for the ANC interview. Okay. Um okay. All right. Uh Thank you, Kaz. And I think things are jumping around kasi when people join in. So all right. So tonight is going to be very interesting. Um okay. Parang tonight's going to be very we will be it's a very very exciting drop with our beloved Larry Alcala. He has done so much for the Philippine pop culture, and for how much he added humor every Sunday. So it'll be a fun discussion later on as we get to know another national artist, with wonderful works, and this time it's profile pictures. So images that people can enjoy, can put in their profile, whether as Twitter or on Facebook, or something that they can identify with. So that's just something that's special. uh let's just wait for, let me see, is this start here? Teka, parang he's not yet here, no? Let me ask him, ha? Hi, only. I'm not sure if that's Isma or someone from their team. Oh, there you go. This start is here already, so nice to have you here. Okay, so it's 9:05. I want to welcome everyone. So this start, I sent you a invite to speak. So I'm not sure if you got it, but anytime you're ready, there you go. So I'd like to say hi to all our guests tonight. So I already said hi to Mark Senpai. I said hi to Bjorn, and hi Distort. How are you?
Hello. Thanks for having me here, guys. I appreciate it.
Yes, okay. Thanks for being here, and it's really nice to have. Oops, it's really nice to have all of you here. It's very, it's exciting and lots of good discussion. And most exciting, we will be raffling away Larry Alcala NFT towards the end of the evening, and we will see, more people join us. So before we start, I think how do we retweet this now? Okay. So if you guys can, there's no I was going to say normally if you can all retweet this space just to, but how do we do it? I think they changed the interface. Um, so that people can join us, and and they know that we're all here right now. So good evening, everyone. It's been a month since our last spaces. No, the last spaces I just realized, after preparing a little bit for the material for tonight, was a month ago. But today is interesting as we will be discussing a beloved national artist who has contributed a lot to Philippine pop culture, and he's a cartoonist as well. So with national artist Larry Alcala. But before we start, and as we wait for people to trickle in, just some little info. So I'm excited to let you know that all our past Twitter spaces are available at Spotify. So you can just check ScarletBox. I mean, look for ScarletBox, and you can see the 6 Twitter space talks that we've had. So our first one was NFTs in Asia. The second was our AMA. The third one was, the topic was riding the NFT wave. The fourth one was celebrities take on NFT. So we got a lot of celebrities that gave in their journey and their thoughts. The fifth one was about NFT collectors. We had a couple of whales who shared their collecting philosophies, what they think of NFTs, etc. The sixth one, we had NFT building blocks. We had guests that were builders. They were community builders, successful builders in different community, whether in the art community, gaming community. And today is actually the seventh talk, no? As we really try hard to provide value to our community. So no matter what happens, whether it's a boom market, bear market, no matter what happens, we try our best to curate and give value and the best, information and education and sharing and creating more awareness, and of course, celebrating, our artists, and people in the space. So we will continue doing that no matter what, no, because we truly value we started small and we're growing, but that is the best way to go, no? As Andreessen Horowitz, and what they say, the best concepts are the ones that it's better to have 100 hardcore followers to start with rather than tens of thousands, but mediocre, lukewarm, passion for your projects. So us, we're one of the ones that started small, but we're gaining ground because we have wonderful, wonderful supporters and collectors and amazing artists. So, magandang gabi sa inyong lahat. Okay, for those of you that's first time to or haven't to our space before, who are we? What is this red box? Always this red box. So, ScarletBox aims to bridge the generations through arts and culture. And our first drop featured the collaborative work of blue chip national artists Jose Hoya and Abdul Mari Imao, together with their second generation of artists as well. Wonderful, wonderful people. So Andre Baldovino and Toim Imao. So right now, the founders NFT, we've had very successful private sale, and now we have limited quantity for our soft public sale. It comes with a beautiful collectible box with digital frame, certificate of authenticity, and vial. And all our private sale collectors already received, or most of them. I think there are some that are abroad that ask us to hold their boxes and to deliver it when they come back from abroad. But all of them have wonderful things to say, after they got the collectible boxes, and truly a keeper. And we've had some collectors that have bought them for their children. Like if they have 2 kids, they'll buy 2, one each. So they're already looking at it as something that's of value that they would like to pass on to their children, because it's true. These stand the test of time. These things don't fade, and you don't need a lot of maintenance, and a beautiful digital frame so you can display it in office and at home. In fact, my friend, we had a meeting earlier. One of my friend who's a collector, he said he put it in his office. He bought actually an email in Ahoya, but he opened the email so far he put it in his office, and it's just appreciating playing the video around and seeing the flipping of the frame. So you can imagine the joy it brings, no, rather than just it staying inside your cell phone. So we still have a limited quantities. So, if you want to join in and have a very special founders NFT, this is your chance. Also tonight, we will be announcing a winner of a free Larry Alcala NFT. So that is amazing also, because who knows, you might get a rare or you might get a super rare. Who knows? A rare would have the images of our partner projects. A super rare would have the profile uh, face of Larry Alcala somewhere hidden in the image. So now I'd like to share a little bit about Larry Alcala. Sino ba siya? Sino ba si Larry Alcala? So Larry Alcala is we're here to celebrate his life and works, no? His hidden profiling side view niya na face, no, in like an ink sketch, is it's hidden in the Sunday weekend magazine of Daily Express, no? So every Sunday, in sa likod ng magazine, you can see a barangay or a city scene that he has created with lots of humor and different slices of Pinoy life. It can be like a provincial scene, pwede rin a church Sunday scene or a typical Manila scene or an anti-smoking scene. And then it's so funny. All the little characters are so funny, and you have to look for his profile face. And agawan yan. Every Sunday, members of the family wants to be the first one to get the magazine to look for his face, and then once it's encircled, it's already discovered. No, other people cannot look for it anymore. But it's a wonderful day, um, you know, regular activity, no, for Sunday tradition for many, many, many families all over the country. So one can definitely relate. So the series ran in the 80s and has touched so many lives with its humor, wit, and social commentary on the lives of the Filipino. Actually, Larry Alcala has created over 500 characters across 20 comic strips, including Asyong Aksaya, Siopang Man, etc. His prolific contribution to Pinoy pop culture earned him the title Order of the National Artist in 2018. He would actually, malapit na birthday niya. It's August 16 today. In 2 days, it's his birthday, or it's August 18, it's his birth anniversary. And he would have been 96 years old if he were still alive. He studied fine arts at the University of the Philippines. He started cartooning at 20 years old. So he pioneered animated cartoons for television commercials and was an advocate of the advancement of illustration and commercial art. No? So it was very nice to see how also um, he tried to advocate that a lot of the artworks can also be used by a lot of products, commercial products, etc., so that it can be appreciated by more and more people. In 1988, his Slice of Life, that Sunday edition, received Best in Humor for keeping in with a Filipino's ability to find laughter or self-deprecating humor with himself or herself. So super fun talaga. And imagine we're going to extract all those little characters from the Slice of Life and turn them into profile pictures for all of you to enjoy, so that you can trade, you can give it as gifts, because definitely you will find someone reflected in his work. There's a military man, there's a doctor, lawyer, fat, thin, young, old, senior citizen, there's smoker, lovers, people who drink coffee, who loves cats, who loves dogs, who love pet lovers, who loves birds, who loves pizza, who loves basketball. They're all there. And you can find something that you love or identify with, or you can trade. If it's something you don't like, trade it with someone who wants to exchange with you. You want to give it to your uncle who's a military man, or your tita who's a nurse, then you can, and then give it as a gift to them. Ay nako, it's going to be so much fun. So tonight, I'd like to introduce our wonderful guests. We have three. We have three out of our six projects with us. The other three we will cover in our next Twitter Spaces by end of the month. So tonight, I'd like to welcome Distort Monsters. Distort Monsters' art is influenced by skateboarding and punk rock. His characters are more than just bold outlines and multilinear textures, and they're colorful representations of our counterculture spirit. He is also a real life exhibited artist. So he has currently an exhibition going on in Hong Kong, and he has also he has done a lot of street art on walls. So Distort, you want to say hi?
Hey guys, hello. Thank you for the warm welcome. Thanks for having me here. Yeah, what's up?
Okay, nice. Thank you. Thanks for being here. He's very difficult to reach because he's always so busy. So I'm so happy that he's here to join us. No, the next I'd like to introduce is Board Punks of Society. It's a community-driven social movement and social club that is focused on educating, connecting, and spreading the beauty of cryptocurrencies and the Web3 to the mass through onboarding them to this metaverse. And tonight we're very happy to have Mark Senpai, or John Mark Fernandez, who is a crypto content creator and the director of education for BPOS, or Board Council Society, and he's been one of the founding members since inception. Hi, Mark. You want to say hi?
Hello, hello. Thank you again. Thank you guys for inviting me. Again, I'm John Mark from Board Pong Society. I'm the head of education for Board Pongs. And also, if I may, I just like to have a quick message, for our holders right now. So again, thank you guys for joining us here. I am here to represent BPOS in place with Carl. Just a quick message as well for those who are aware for the recent issues and everything. I just want to say that we apologize for any lack of communication in the meantime, but we are aware of the situation and we're continuously building. So thank everyone as well for inviting me here and looking forward for the upcoming space. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Mark. And I really appreciate that you are here tonight and that representing BPOS. I know your other team members are busy and we totally understand and respect, but thank you for being the voice tonight to join us. Um, and then we have Bjorn Calleja. Bjorn Calleja is a Filipino painter and interdisciplinary artist whose works play with the idea of micro and macrocosm of humans within and against their environments in an ecological, social, and internal sense. Wow, haba. Later pa-explain natin kay Bjorn. So Bjorn, you want to say hi to everyone?
Oh. Hi, Sheree. Thanks for having me. Hello din sa lahat. Hi, Miggy, Mark, and everyone.
Oh, hey, thank you, Bjorn. So, thank you, all of you for joining us tonight. And ako, I'm very also interested in, the stories of your projects or your trajectory of how you started. So maybe, first of all, maybe I'd like to know, no, how did, siguro I have two questions for everyone, or any of you, Bjorn, Distort, or Mark. Do you know Larry Alcala from before, or you're not as familiar with him?
I'll start siguro. I was a big fan of Larry when I was younger. Yun nga, like he said earlier, no, every Sunday I would look for the slice of life sa papers and then try to find Larry there, and familiar din ako dun sa mga comic strip works niya. Because when I was young, parang we always had a newspaper lying in the house, so yun yung unang hinahanap ko, was the comics. And that's the time when I was first introduced to Larry Alcala's work, and ever since, I found it very entertaining and fun, and subconsciously siguro Larry has been a major influence in the art that I do. So ayun.
Okay, that's nice that he has influenced you also in your work. I think Distort, you wanted to say something?
Yeah. So I was going to say that same as Bjorn, I've like I've been familiar with Larry Alcala's works ever since. I'm also a big fan of his Slice of Life project. I really appreciate his attention to detail and how how lively the scenes are. There's always something happening on every part of the illustration. And I grew up with comics, and Larry's work is very much iconic.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing that, no, kasi parang it's really nice to see that that you both were kind of influenced, no, by his work. I think Mark is kind of young. So he might not, baka hindi niya naabutan si Larry, no? Okay, so thanks for sharing that, no? Because I'm also curious, no? I mean, ako rin, I grew up seeing the work of Larry and yung agawan, no? Kasi makakahanap sa face ni Larry, and then every Sunday yun, no? And then or parang, someone will say, oh, don't encircle his face para hindi hahanapin pa namin, di ba? Hindi yung parang once you circle his face, then the mystery is gone, di ba? So it's been fun, and he has already a collection of a lot of these barangays. And now, for the first time, we'll be able to have a part of it, no, own a part of it, and cherish that also. So, siguro what I'd like to do is I'd like to ask our three guests, how did your project start? No, it can also be how your project started, or actually, I'm also curious. No, let's base, especially we have two artists here, no, si Bjorn and Distort. Maybe maybe talk. Maybe I'll ask. Maybe what I'll do this. What I'll do. Maybe I'll ask Mark first how your project started, and then later on move on to Bjorn and Distort to please tell us also naman as an artist how your artist journey started and how you got into NFTs. No, so we'll do that in that order. So, Mark, you want to share with us like how was BPOS conceptualized and how did it come about? What made you choose those artworks, etc. We'd love to hear that your story.
Yeah, yes, for sure. Thank you. So, yeah, with regards to BPOS, the story of BPOS actually goes way back last year. It's around in the middle of the bull market. So with BPOS, actually, I actually come a bit late, probably probably a month what after its inception. But back then it was really small. We didn't have our Discord yet. We didn't have like our official account yet and everything. So what happened in my case is Carl, the founder, and the other core team actually approached me for for a partnership and collaboration to do a podcast with them. So in that case, with BPOS, we started uh, the initiative to but we what they started is they invite people like me, since back then I'm already a content creator, and then we discuss different things about cryptocurrencies. So the core concept of BPOS actually started because there's different scholars, from different play-to-earn games like Axie Infinity back then, and a lot of them were thriving and growing and earning money, but a lot of them don't know what to do next. They don't know where to spend next, where to grow their money next, and everything. And that's when BPOS come in. Well, we started by educating those scholars on what to do with their money, what are cryptocurrencies, or how they can interact more with cryptocurrencies. And with regards to our arts, one of our core team actually is also her nickname is Melon Babe in BPOS. So she's actually the one who created all of the arts that you've seen. So every BPOS that is on existence is actually made by her. So that's why we're actually very proud of her, because all of these arts are actually conceptualized by her. We started by um, having different suggestions, on what accessories to make, on what types of characters you would want to make, especially the ones that would represent the Philippines, as much better, since Philippines is what we want to represent here in BPOS. And then up until then, we were able to mint this December, and then yeah, we were able to reach a lot of people and even some people on in the international scene, and we're very proud on what we have done so far with BPOS.
Nice. I'm curious, no, Mark, why is the name Board Punks of Society? But why board and why that name?
Actually, with the name of board punks, it wasn't actually too deep back then. It's if because if you remember back then, there was a trend, for like board apes and then like crypto punks. So in a way,
Mm-mm.
in a sense, it rooted to that, to that trend that we had back then, and then just we adopted much more from from that end of the trend.
Okay, sige. Got it. So very interesting, no? So that's how pala it was conceptualized, no, during that time, and the goal was to educate, a lot of maybe Axie players and those who got into the MetaMask. So in a way, it was like a two education, and I guess that was your role, no? Because that's your role right now with BPOS, no, in educating people. Um, Bjorn, how about you? Please let us know your journey as an artist. How you started and when did you get into NFTs and why?
Okay. Um, I graduated from uh, I graduated fine arts. I majored in advertising. So um, during the time nung we were still in college, parang we used to join competition. So that was the time na parang I started painting and yeah, joining competitions, and fortunately, I was able to kahit papaano win a few competitions during college na it sparked my the painter side in me. Parang after nun, when we graduated, I started joining exhibitions. It was with friends from school, and yung mga kabatch namin na artists then. So um, we started building a community of young artists na we were doing these small exhibitions because during that time medyo mahirap pang makapasok sa mga blue chip na galleries. Um, Medyo parang dominated pa siya ng medyo conceptual art, maraming mga masters. So, ayun, we just pushed through, tapos we did a lot of shows, a lot of exhibitions, a lot of events. Parang we strengthened the community during that time hanggang sa, ayun, we were given the opportunity unti-unti to to exhibit, to have our solo exhibitions, and then eventually parang ayun, nangyari na lang siya. Um, and then nag-start ako parang with this new series na merong mga characters yung paintings ko around 2016, 2015. Um, So yun, nilalagyan ko ng characters na maliliit yung paintings kasi parang it adds another layer of meaning to the work, parang for me. And then uh, na-enjoy ko siya kasi during that time I had this parang I was undergoing depression, so parang naging meditative siya sa akin na katulong siya na um, to focus on the work, lalo na yung sa scale ng characters, which is very small. Ayun, tapos eventually I was trying to parang find ways na parang expound ko pa yung idea nung ano, kasi parang for me at that time parang nag-evolve din yung meaning nung characters na parang nagiging representation siya ng humanity against dun sa kung saan mang society or kung saan mang environment tayo nandun. Parang nagiging reflection siya for me if naapektuhan ba natin siya in a bigger scale, or hindi talaga tayo importante. So parang I'm trying to raise the question through my art. And then afterwards, yun nga, hinahanapan ko ng other ways to explore the subject. So, ayun, nag-experiment ako with animations. Because before parang naging din ako as an animator, pero medyo I'm a bad animator, kaya hindi ako nag-push through. And I was doing animations parang way back pa, parang before I jumped into NFTs. So, meron akong collection ng animations from my physical paintings na I was only doing just for myself, at saka parang sinishare ko rin sa Instagram or sa Facebook. Then a friend told me na, oy, may uh, platform na ng NFT na energy efficient, because I didn't want to uh, mint in Ethereum back then kasi parang sabi nila it's bad for the environment. So, ayun, nung nalaman ko about Hiketnog, and I started minting, and then the rest was history. So, yun na.
So so you said you started doing characters in 2016, ano? So that was just parang you thought it was interesting, but when you started NFTs, when did you start minting? What year was that, or what when you started joining NFTs?
I first minted mga um, March of 2021.
Okay. So last year. So that was would that be kasi for everyone, so that si Bjorn did stupid avatars, no? Which is stupid avatar, which is what your profile picture right now. And it has been successful and it has held its value, no? Even with the trading, etc. So you wanna tell us how you came about with this stupid avatar?
Yes, hindi naman siya successful sa trading or what. ano lang, it started as a parody, parang that was during the time na ano na parang bagong labas pa lang yung Board 8, yung BAYC. So parang everybody was getting crazy about TFP. So parang uh, parang I think this is stupid, but I should make something like that. So yeah, parang ano lang din, kasi the space was new to me. Parang hindi ko rin alam yung context ng community and everything. Medyo tanga rin din ako nung pumasok eh. So I started this project na every day I was drawing sa phone ko ng uh, yun nga, ng stupid avatars. And then I was minting it. May kumukuha, laging nasa-sold out. So I was minting in batches of 10, and then after siguro a month na nakatapos ako ng 120 na avatars dun sa OGs na. And then I was talking to this friend of mine who's a coder sa Tezos. Uh, and I was asking him, how can we do a larger version of this, parang ganyan. And eventually nangyari si FX Hash. So it was an opportunity. Tapos yeah, that guy si Liam Egan, he helped me with the coding side, and then yeah, we pushed through with the FX Hash stupid. Kaya parang yeah, naging okay naman siya. And for me parang it was centered in ano parang in humor. I remember dun sa Discord na parang when I revealed that I was the artist behind the project, parang most of the community was thanking me na parang it helped them, na parang it was a social media therapy, na it's okay to act dumb sometimes. You don't have to be perfect in front of everyone. Parang I think yun yung pinaka pride and joy ko dun sa project, na I was able to make other people feel na it's okay to be themselves.
Okay, nice. I mean, I didn't, I guess, for me, no, I mean, I enjoy looking at it, no, but I didn't realize that it also, parang that was how, the value pala that it gave people, no, na parang they're able to relate, diba, na you don't have to always be perfect, you don't always have to look good all the time. It's okay to be stupid sometimes, and it's very human, and it's very acceptable, no, and thank you also for doing that, that series, that collection, no, for people to enjoy. So cute. And it's really funny, you'll get curious talaga with, bakit kaya it's like that. Thanks, Bjorn. This start, how about you? Please tell us, how you started and why the monsters, and also how when you started with street art. I'm also very curious, and I saw your big installations, they're beautiful. So
All right, so okay, origin story time.
hello
Um,
there.
yeah, hello, hello. Can you guys
Yes,
hear me?
yes, okay now.
All right. Before I start with my origin story, I'd like to say I'd like to give a shout out to all the monsters who are here right now. I see a number of familiar names. They're part of my Discord community. So guys, thanks for being here. Thanks for supporting this space. And okay, so it's time for the origin story. Basically, um, I started out as a skateboarder when I was very young. I still skate till today. But yeah, I started skateboarding when I was in elementary. And it was, like the entire culture surrounding skateboarding was very, very appealing to me. I really liked how rebellious it was. I loved the energy of the people within the community. I love the artworks on the different skate decks. I love the branding of skateboard companies. And I think it was mainly because of that I started to really draw. Um, so when you buy skateboard parts, you usually get stickers as well. And so, I decided to make my own stickers. I'd put those stickers on my board. Eventually, that progressed to putting up stickers in the different skate spots where I would skate with my friends. So like we used to be quite adventurous. Like we were really adventurous. every time that we would skate, it would be in a new place. We were kids getting lost around the city doing whatever. Um, because because of the stickers that I used to make before, I eventually met other skaters who were into street art and graffiti. And then they were explaining to me what street art was, and that, like by me going around different parts of the city and leaving my mark, that was already considered street art. Fast forward to around 2009, so like a few years later, that was the first time that I really picked up a spray can. And, like once I started using spray paint as a medium, it became so addicting. There's it's always such a thrill to head out, look for a random spot, and just leave my mark. So many things could go wrong. Graffiti and street art is basically illegal. It's more accepted now, but traditionally, you don't ask permission. You take the space for yourself. And so, yeah, I just kept doing it and doing it, and until eventually I found my way transitioning into doing gallery work. I found myself doing more and more exhibitions. Then I started making my own toys. And then, like eventually I ended up with NFTs. And you were asking earlier why monsters, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in street art and graffiti, so like I said, it's illegal. You can't use your real name because if you write your real name on the wall, you're gonna get caught. So we have what we call tag. We have tag names. So they're pseudonyms. They're like your alter ego. When I started doing graffiti and street art in 2009, I went by a number of different tag names. But then when I realized that, it wasn't just a hobby or a game for me, and art was something that I wanted to pursue, I told myself that, like I needed to change my tag name into something that had a narrative, something that was more relatable to me on a personal level. And at the same time, I tried to teach myself how to draw properly. I tried to teach myself how to make art, like proper art. But that didn't work well for me in the beginning because I soon realized that I couldn't draw proportionally. I couldn't draw photorealistically. And it was very, very frustrating to me that I was on the verge of giving up until, like one day I just told myself, bahala na, if the drawings I make are going to be ugly, why not just make things ugly on purpose? So, out of spite, I just made whatever weird caricatures. I wouldn't really think about what I was going to draw. Like the moment my pen would hit paper, it was like a matter of connecting one line to the other, building shapes on top of each other, and seeing where each stroke takes me. And I'll just be surprised at what what comes out of it. And that's how I got the name Distort. So for a few years, I was only using Distort as my tag name. The monsters aspect came a bit later on during my college years. Um, Back in college, I had a really, really, you know, um, I used to have really, really terrible anxiety attacks, and they were the type wherein, I would sometimes collapse. Like my ears would start ringing, my chest would get all heavy, and my arms and legs would get cold. It was really, really terrible. I'm a really bad overthinker. And, one of the best ways that I found to cope was to draw. Because with my style of drawing before is distort, there was no pressure at all with regards to what I was making. Again, it was a matter of connecting one line to the next. And it was basically mindless doodling. And every time that I would feel that an anxiety attack was coming on, I'd pull out pen and paper right away and just start doodling. And this went on and on for quite some time. And I remember there was this day that my best friend who I used to skate and started doing graffiti with was hanging out at my place, and he was looking at my box full of drawings, and he asked me, Why do you keep making monsters?" But up until that point, I never really thought of the characters that I made as monsters. They were just whatever. But you know, I really liked how the word monster sounded, and upon reflecting, I sort of came to the conclusion that what if these monsters that I'm drawing are actually the monsters in my head? And the reason why I calm down or I can cope with my anxieties whenever I'm drawing is because I'm subconsciously letting out these thoughts or monsters from my head and out into the real world, something like that. And yeah, I just put the word monsters beside my then tag name, which is Distort, ended up with Distort Monsters, and it just kind of stuck from there. Um, Now going back to the whole NFT thing, the way that I treat NFTs are they're just another they're just another medium, like some artists use acrylic, some use spray paint, some use oil, watercolor, and whatnot. For me, like why can't NFTs be just like that, a different medium for us artists to express ourselves? There are so many things that we can do with NFT technology that we can't really do with more traditional methods. And I think that is one of the biggest appeals. Uh, that was what was most appealing to me. Um, yeah, so I put together Monster Mayhem together with a friend. So because I wasn't that technologically literate, like I don't know how to program, I don't know how to code. I had to ask help from one of my friends. He goes by the name Parasonic. He he's in charge of all the tech stuff while I do all the art. Basically, what we what we're doing with Monster Mayhem is it's an extension of the work that I do as Distort Monsters. So I make no differentiation between the stuff that I do in galleries and the stuff that I do for the NFT space. One of the goals of Monster Mayhem is to bridge my physical art into the digital space, and then from the digital space back into the real world. So, being a traditional artist, I had to teach myself how to draw digitally, and I learned how to take apart my characters. I learned to take them apart based on traits. So I would draw like several types of bodies, different pairs of eyes, mouths, noses, backgrounds, and whatnot. And my friend Parasonic helped me out with making an algorithm that mixed and matched all these traits to come up with a unique monster. And that was like really cool to me because traditionally it's not possible to make, let's say, 1,000 or 2,000 different variations of a character in a matter of minutes. So like it was pretty cool because I know for a fact that I drew all those individual traits, but like seeing all the combinations was, like it was really, really fun for me. It's my work, but at the same time, sometimes it feels like it's not. I don't know if you guys get that. But yeah, what do you call this? So from transitioning my works from physical into digital, like the next step was how to bring it back into the real world. I used the NFTs as sort of design studies. So the algorithm generated variations of the monsters, and those generated monsters, I turned some of them into actual paintings. I turned a number of them into art prints. Some are going to become merch and whatnot. So yeah, NFTs are really just another medium for me to express my art and expand the universe of the monsters.
Okay. Thanks a lot, this start. No? So it's very interesting because your trajectory is kind of not it's different, no, from a lot of the artists. I'm curious, may I ask what you took up, what was your major in college?
Oh, okay. So I'm not formally trained in art. I'm largely self-taught. But I took, like for college, I took up business management.
Okay. So it's really interesting, no? And I think it can inspire also a lot of the people here in this room, no? And on the different trajectories and the different ways on how these whether it's a career or the project and how it started. And to me, my personal learning also is that art is really wonderful because it can also be a lifesaver. Like for example, when Bjorn mentioned how art has helped him with depression and also for this start with his anxiety, uh, for me also, I mean, normally a lot of people think of art as expression of how they feel or what they think, or if they're angry, or I guess I did realize the power of art as something that can really help people. It can be a lifesaver because it can help you function better, it can bring you to a better place. So I think that's really nice, no? And thank you for sharing. Thank you both for sharing that as well, no? And actually, I have one of the distort prints, pero I was telling distort, my monster looks so mabait. Other monster looks so naughty, and the one I got is cute and nice, no? But anyways, I one of that's with me. Very nice
Thank
prints.
you. I appreciate that.
Yes. So thank you very much. Very, very nice sharing. And I think even for me, no, there's a lot of takeaways even for me. And it's interesting how the paths are very different, no, for all of you, and where you all now. Um, were there things, I mean, in your journey, no, I'll ask all of you also, were there things that you expect that didn't happen? Or on the reverse naman, were there things that happened that you did not expect? No, and what are those? If you can recall, no. So maybe Mark, would you like to share in your journey, and also Mark, maybe what did you Mark? I think you said you did a lot of marketing content before, but I'm not sure what you took up in college. Is it related work? I think you're on mute. Hello, Mark. Oh. Wait, I think I have to bring him up. I think something went wrong with his, ano. I think it went on to the speaker. So Bjorn, maybe can you go first? Was there in your journey, whether as an artist or in the area of NFTs, were there things that happened that you didn't expect, and were there things that you were expecting but it didn't happen naman?
Siguro as an artist when I was younger, parang I was really hopeful. I was full of expectations. Pero as I grew older, parang um I learned to parang manage or even parang not expect anything from everything na lang. Parang it helped me a lot then to navigate life eh. Parang so nung pagpasok when I entered the NFT space parang it was something new it I never really expected anything from it. Parang it was a new platform for the animations for the art that I was making na I wasn't able to or I'm not able to exhibit in my gallery show. So um I had zero to none na expectations, and then parang so when parang it was accepted, I was accepted by the community na parang super na appreciate ko siya because I really didn't have any expectations. And then when people started buying my work, parang it's gave me a different level of appreciation for the space then because yun nga parang um everything that happened parang open lang ako to whatever. And then if good things happen, sobrang 101% na na-appreciate ko sila. So siguro yun lang. I never really expected anything, and parang I look at the space and as an extension of my art practice. So parang I'm trying to bridge the what I do outside sa physical world. Na I do gallery shows, I make art, I paint, and I'm trying to bridge it with the NFT space. Na parang I'm also making art for people um outside the circle nung nasa gallery, and also people outside my audience. So ayun, parang it helped me na ma-expand yung network ko, yung audience ko, and also ma-promote yung art that what I do, and also yung Filipino art na rin. Everything that I represent as a person, parang the NFT space helped me a lot. It gave back parang more than wala akong na-expect. So it gave back everything.
Okay. Thanks, Berno. So parang ano, actually that, I've heard about, I've heard parang that statement where if you don't want to be disappointed, better not to expect, no? So parang, and I think that's nice, and it's a very good attitude, no, when you said na parang you didn't have much expectation, parang if there's good that comes out of it, becomes like a blessing, no? And it's, appreciated by a lot. Mark, you got round kanina when you went down. So I don't know if you heard, but I'll just repeat it. So um my question was, in this journey, in your journey, whether how you started, and please tell us also your major. I'm not sure if you shared with us your major, because I'm also trying to see whether your different journeys, and how it is it different, or does it relate. My question was, were there things that you expected that didn't happen, or sa kabaliktaran, were there things that you did not expect that happened, no, in your journey, whether as a not only with BPOS, but even before BPOS. So I mean, feel free to share.
Yes, thank you. Sorry, I just got disconnected. My Twitter
Uh,
lagged earlier, but actually, with regards to my major, I think it's quite connected with the thing that I will be sharing regarding this. This thing that I did not expect. But I actually studied computer engineering, but I actually dropped out of college in around my third and fourth year before I actually pursued cryptocurrency. So in my case, actually, it's as I mentioned, I dropped out of college around third year, and that's around that time as well is when I got my first opportunity to work for cryptocurrency. So in that case, actually, it answers the questions of what things I did not expect I was able to get. Is I was able to get a lot of like a really lot of great things besides people's. I was able to get a lot of great opportunities. So in my case, actually, since in our country, being a college dropout isn't actually very easy, since credentials is very needed, to get stable jobs and everything. So back then, when I actually started working for crypto, I'm still afraid, of the things that might happen, since in my case, stability is probably something that I might not get. But fortunately, in my journey in the cryptocurrency space, I actually was able to get a lot of things that I didn't expect. As I mentioned, being part of Peoples is one big thing, but at the same time, I was able to work as well for like international companies in the crypto space full time. So in my case, I would say, if I were to go back, I did not have any regrets. I would say probably uh, if I could still study, probably I would probably choose to study a different course back then. But with my current situation right now and the journey that I've faced, I would say that I'm proud of what I've done so far.
okay. Thank you for sharing that, no? And I know you have a huge following also, no, in your media channels, and it's very inspiring as well, no, and also for the listeners in our space to know that there's not just one track to be successful or to be happy. You don't have to always graduate high school or graduate high school or graduate college. There's many different ways, no. There's That's what they say. There's many different ways to skin a cat, and the fact that you're able to find your passion and in your own way, it's very inspiring, and I think it's good for a lot of the younger listeners natin. So thanks for sharing that. How about you, Distort? What did you expect or did not expect that happened?
Okay, so expectations, like I expected that through doing NFTs, I'd be able to get my works across on like a more global platform. But then, the grind is real. Like, even though I have, like, I'd like to say that I have pretty good momentum in terms of my physical artworks. The NFT space is a different beast, and like you have to constantly grind for your project. Um, in terms of like for the other thing, what I did not expect, going into doing NFTs, I already knew that it was going to be quite a challenge. I knew that it would be a big responsibility to launch a project, but I guess I may have honestly underestimated like how much time and effort you need to put in. But it's been a great experience, even though it's been really difficult. I love growing with my community. They've become some sort of support group for me. I like bouncing ideas off of them. But yun nga, it's a lot of work. And one of the challenges for me talaga is because I make no differentiation between my physical art and the work that I do for the NFT project. You know, time management is something that I have to learn how to be better at, and there's a constant need to be aware na like I shouldn't spread myself out too thin. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's very interesting, no? Actually, I echo what you're saying, no? And also that's also a personal learning of mine, no? Entering the Web3 space. It's not even for me, no, I echo that you underestimate. So sometimes some people underestimate how what it takes to make a project successful, because my personal learning also, whatever strategies you have in the Web 2 space will not necessarily work in Web 3. It's so different. The influencers in Web 2 might not translate to Web 3. So those are also my learnings, no. So we had to also look for influencers or people who will support na in this space. And on the good side, we also create more and more connections, no. And I'm getting to know more and more people that I've never met before, like you guys. This start, you wanna share something?
Yeah, yeah, if I may lang, in relation
Yes, please.
to what you said, um, I guess it's really very easy to underestimate this whole thing because it's still relatively new. There are no set boundaries. Like I like to call this space the wild wild west. Like there are so many possibilities that can happen, and on a daily basis there are newer and new. Like, there are so many projects that are being made, and like with each project that comes up, like there's always going to be a handful that's very innovative, and what they bring to the table changes how everything else runs. So yeah, it's difficult, but it's a really interesting space to be in.
Yeah. That's true, no? Parang I think one of the values that I've seen in joining this Web3 space is connecting very new, wonderful connections, whether artists in the space or influencers or even collectors. You know how wonderful the collectors are. I'm just so amazed. I don't know them personally, but some of them have sent me emails or messages. Some of them are in this room to give advice. And I don't know them personally. I haven't. I mean, I'd love to meet them in person one day, but they either give thoughts or advice or how to help the project or what, because they know that we're new. So I mean, my gosh, how amazing, no, the people are, and these are the connections that I truly value. Bjorn, did you want to say something?
Uh, I just wanted to add, yun pala, one thing that I didn't expect was kung gaano, how fast-paced the space would be. Parang it moves really fast. Parang yun nga, as the start mentioned, na parang every day there's a new project, there's a new artist, and then parang the face ng Web3 is sobrang hirap sabayan ng katawang tao natin. So um, most of the time, a lot of artists, a lot of creators get really frustrated, and parang they get really anxious na other people are doing well, and sometimes we feel that we're being left behind. But also parang we need to learn to adapt, na we adapt to the pace, na parang it should be in our own terms, and it should be healthy for us as creators, and we should always remind ourselves that we're in here for the long game, na parang whatever happens, you just keep on creating, keep on building, and um it might not happen the soonest, but as long as you put your work out there, or you put whatever project out there, parang in the long run, if you're persistent and you put that much love and effort on the work, parang it's gonna find its audience. Yun lang naman.
Okay. No, thank you. Parang isa pa rin yun. I resonate with how bilis things are. Like parang, like 1 month, seems like a year or naman, hindi naman 1 year, no, but 6 months in real life. Parang sobrang bilis. The way things change, the way things happen, and the way we need to move and to adjust, it's so fast talaga. Siguro I'd just like to, it's kind of half time, like to refresh the space, no? I'd like to also tell everyone that anyone who requests to ask questions or give an insight, we have a prize for you. At the end, one of our team members will reach out to you to give you a prize. No, so feel free to just hand or request to be a speaker. We'd love to hear from you. It can either be a question for any of the speakers or for myself, or an insight or a comment. Now, we'd love to hear that from our community. Actually, our past Twitter spaces have normally gained a lot of uh, traction and listeners. So sometimes by the time a week or two passes, siguro mga 500 listeners, and just because they're listening to the recording, no? So it's really nice that a lot of people are starting to listen to our spaces because it's well curated, and we try to add value as much as we can community. So for those who came in late, just to share with you, is a celebration of our second drop, which is the work of national artist and cartoonist Larry Alcala, who has been very especially for people growing up with his works. And for his drop, we are celebrating it with six Filipino NFT projects, or led by Filipinos. So it's something that we're very proud of. So we have today we have with us Distort, Bjorn, and Bipos, or Board Pumps of Society. And for end of the month, we'll have Planktons, board Black Eyed Freaks. Oh, sorry, and only no mustachios. So we're going to embed the images of these projects in select Larry characters to create rares, and then there's going to be super rares where it will have Larry's face. No, so there's a lot of fun things that can happen, and so that's the today. It's getting to know more about Larry Alcala, getting to know more about the projects, their stories, and it's kind of I really have myself personally a lot of takeaways now from the personal journeys of our speakers. Also, just to announce, our founder's NFT is right now available for people. So if you're interested, just send us a message, and maybe we might be able to give you an email tumbler. If you avail of our, if you message us soon. Um, and I think, yeah, that's about it for my little refreshing the space halfway announcement. So feel free, guys, to ask questions. I mean, even for our Discord fans, feel free to also ask. You can type it in, and one of our team members can read it out, and you'll also get a prize from us. So my next question for everyone is, where do you think art NFT will go moving forward? No, considering it's a bear market now. Kind of it's improving now compared to a few months ago. But where do you think you can also share your thoughts as to where gaming will go, or in NFTs in general, be it gaming or art or real estate, etc. There's so many kinds of NFTs now. Where do you think art will be moving forward, and what is the adoption of people? Do you think it'll go mainstream, or it'll take some time, or because right now Starbucks will also come out with their own NFTs, diba? And in the US, a lot of premium luxury brands have already started. Dolce and Gabbana, Gucci, Louis Vuitton. There's so many that have already started. A lot of the sporting brands, Nike, Adidas, Nike bought fact, and Adidas also had their own NFT drop with a digital, what they call physical and digital, where you can get a jacket also. So there's in many different parts of our real life, whether it's consumer brands or luxury brands, it's already coming out now. So I'm curious as to what you guys think, or where you think art NFT will move forward, whether international context or whether in the Philippine context. So yeah, Mark, please.
Yes, thank you. So actually, my comment would be, I think besides the art NFTs, I would like to comment on, my opinions about NFTs as, as a whole. Because, in the meantime, or I mean, at the moment, a lot of people have been aware with NFTs, but a lot of us aren't actually fully aware yet with the full potential of NFTs. Because with NFTs, actually, it's not just about PFPs or like art NFTs. It's actually a lot of things. Just like you mentioned, there's like real estates as well, and there's even like music NFTs. So in my perspective, I think NFTs will be very very big in the future, since besides of having these kinds of innovative technologies, it does bring ownership as well with the help of decentralization, as well. So I think in the future, probably a lot of our daily activities would be connected with NFTs in some way. Probably our properties would be sold in forms connected to the blockchain as NFTs, which would help us have faster transactions. Or maybe concert tickets would now be NFTs and would be embedded in the blockchain as well for other things. So for me, I think the future of NFTs is really really big, not just for art, because art is there ever since before. Even though we don't have NFTs, I do believe art would still prosper and would still grow a lot. But I do believe besides the potential of art in NFTs, I do believe NFTs as a whole has a lot of big potential.
No, I agree with you. No, thanks for that, Mark. Na parang, so you think in general, no, the adoption rate, will be good. Okay, I do agree, and I think this is something that a lot of this is something that probably a lot of you know already, but Philippines has the highest percentage of NFT ownership worldwide. We are at 32%, just after I think probably by that was as of last year. Of course, it's all mostly because of gaming, because of Axie Infinity, and there's a very very strong correlation between awareness of NFT and owning NFT. So it's very high correlation. So meaning, if the moment you are aware of NFTs, high chance you will also collect or participate in it. So if you look at the chart and the X and the Y axis, parang in Philippines tayo yung pinakamataas, no? If you look at the parang like a letter L, no? Like X and Y axis, we're on the upper right hand, the Philippines, kasi our awareness is very high, and also the propensity to collect is very high. Tapos yung medyo nasa lower side would be a lot of the developed countries like US, UK, Japan. The ones in the middle are the ones in the upper like us is in more in the Southeast Asia like um, uh, Malaysia, Thailand, Vietnam. Parang yun yung medyo high awareness and high ownership. And then yung medyo gitna is mga Latin American countries and some European countries. So you can see that parang the nice thing is the quotient is high. So it's kind of like e-commerce, di ba? The moment you try e-commerce and the moment you see na, uy, ang dali, how you can order something online and it comes to you and you don't have to brave the traffic and the rain to go to the mall and not find what you like pa, pagod ka na, then you can get stuck on it. No? And even people like, 90 plus years old people, the moment they find that it's so convenient, no matter what age they are, they'll learn how to do e-commerce to buy something from Lazada or Shopee, no? Whereas maybe when they were younger, they'll say probably, oh, all these computer things is a scam. So it may go there where high awareness would lead to parang high participation in the space just because it makes a lot of sense. It makes things easier. You can track things. So hopefully that's where it'll go. It's kind of like the moment you learn how to use email, why will you still use snail mail? Diba? Mamaya yung letter na wala na sa post office or mga 3 weeks bago dumating or kailangan mo pa i-pick up with the registered mail. Diba? Email, instantaneous, you get it na. So, but there was a time that people thought email was like something you can't trust. Diba? Yeah. So, how about the others? Do you have any thoughts on that? Where you think art NFTs will go or NFTs moving forward? Distort or Bjorn?
Um, I agree then with Mark and what he said. Sheree. Pero I also think na parang kasabay din ng acceptance nung NFTs as a technology is important din widely accepted din yung cryptocurrencies. Kasi sa ngayon parang kahit dito sa atin we're still having problems with the SEC and parang yung how to make the technology easier for us to adapt to para sa para sa real life utility or usage. So I think once na maging normal siya or maging common na yung use of cryptocurrencies, magiging easier na rin for everyone for NFTs to have the actual real world utilities na we can use it as titles for real estate and for certificate of authentications and memberships. So sa tingin ko parang moving forward it's inevitable na hindi magamit yung NFTs as a technology, but until the time na magiging accepted na siya by everyone, especially even sa art parang ganun din na parang even based on my personal experience na I was talking to some galleries who were interested about NFTs. Once I opened up na this is cryptocurrency, this is a blockchain na parang I'm lost. I can't understand na agad sila. So a lot of educating must happen. A lot of parang spreading out the word para once na people know na it's gonna be easier for them, especially for art, yung mga natively digital na artists, mga video artists, new media artists, parang ang laking tulong niya once we reach that gap. So, yun lang naman.
Okay, thanks, Bjorn. No? How about you, Distort? What do you think about where art NFT will go moving forward?
Okay,
Or NFT in
so
general,
yeah,
yeah.
NFT in general. Well, I agree with like all the things that have been said so far. So, and like what Bjorn was saying earlier about, educating more people. Um, One of the best ways I think to, educate the public about NFTs and their potential is for projects to really push and develop utilities. Like if we can show if we can show the general public what how NFTs can be used, like show them that it is beyond being a digital asset. Like more and more people will gravitate towards it. Now, with regards to art, especially here locally, um, you know, more and more traditional art collectors are curious about, I mean, they're wondering what the deal about NFTs are. And because they are curious, a good number of them have started dipping their toes into the space. Um, what do you call this? For Monster Mayhem, what we're trying to do is we're doing our best to onboard a lot of traditional collectors. So we're making it easier for them to purchase an NFT from my project. While at the same time, we're also pushing for the physical aspects of the NFT. So once collectors realize na okay, certain NFTs have physical artwork counterparts, they become more willing to learn about the space, right? Um, yeah, so I guess it really goes back to having solid utilities that people can see in the real world.
Okay. No, that's true, no. And I think I agree with you, no. One way to make art NFT or NFT general more mainstream is to make the onboarding easier, no, like what Bjorn said also with currencies, and also Mark also said earlier. And um like even for ScarletBox, what we did is our platform accepted fiat, no, or peso, dollar, peso dollar currencies, not just Ethereum or not just crypto. And with ScarletBox, with our private sale, about 95% paid by fiat, using fiat, no. And that is one way for us to also, our vision to Web3 is we bring a lot of the traditional collectors or people, first time buyers of NFT into this space, no, and making it the onboarding easier for them. So that's one of the things that is also one of our visions, no, in addition to bridging the generations through arts and culture. So hopefully with the Larry Alcala drop, we'll be able to get a lot of people who love Larry but may not be crypto savvy or might not even know what an NFT is to be able to participate now, because they can pay in with pesos, they can pay with credit card, no, not just with Ethereum. So hopefully we will get more and more people into the space, and the more and more people we get into this space, more and more, it only takes one NFT. Even for me, it just takes one to just buy one, and then you realize, hey, it's not that foreign, or it's not that weird, or it's not that difficult pala. No, it just takes one. So the moment they take that first step, everything else kind of becomes clear. It's kind of like you see things without tainted glasses. Kaya parang, it's not that hard. It's not that foreign naman pala. And it can be fun. No, so with this effort with Larry Alcala, that's what we're also aiming to do, to try to get more and more like first time NFT buyers to enjoy the space and take part of the space, because this will be the future, and it's good not that they're early, but rather than being left out. So that's one thing that hopefully will happen. Thanks for all your comments. I'd like to say shout out, hey Casey, thanks for joining us tonight. We'd love to hear your voice. If you want to chat and say hi, just request to be a speaker, and we'd love to say hi to you. So my question for our guests: what are your plans now for your projects moving forward? Are there any interesting plans, even whether it's your project or your career, or or your plans for yourself, for your trajectory? How about you? Maybe we start first with Mark.
Yeah, sure, sure. I think in my case, I'll just release some of plans for BPOS. So at the moment, we're actually aiming on pursuing more of Web3. We've actually posted a few updates about it, but one of our aim is Web3, since being integrated with Web3 is something that we supposed we must do, since we're a project in the Web3. So an integration with Web3 is one thing we want as well. And at the same time, in my side, on the education side, we wanted to expand on the education side, probably with some institutions as well. But at the moment, we can't relate the specifics yet. But we really want to expand on the education side, especially here in the Philippines, and especially with regards to crypto. And lastly, the metaverse is actually on our plans as well, since we do believe metaverse is gonna be part of the future, and yeah, we really hope to expand on those things moving forward.
Okay. So when you say, Mark, when you say metaverse, let's expand to the metaverse. In what way? Like, in what form? Is it digital land, or I'm not, or what kind of, which area of the metaverse? AR, VR? Which area are you looking at, or BPOS looking at?
With regards to metaverse, we actually wanted to expand on more of like the AR stuff, since AR is probably going to be part of the future. So in that case, we wanted BPOS to be in the metaverse once it gains mass adoption. That way, we could probably organize events as well instead of doing it just simply digitally online and everything. We could do it in the metaverse instead, which is hopefully is on Web3 as well.
Okay, so you mean like virtual events, no? Things like that.
Yes, 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 and other
Mm,
stuff as well, other activities. Who knows?
okay, all right. So thanks for sharing that. How about you, Bjorn? What are your plans?
Well,
Also, well, yeah, go ahead.
sorry. What were you saying?
Parang what are your plans for, I mean, either for your project or for yourself, or do you see yourself how many percent of your time NFT or real life art, or is it now 90% NFT? And parang what are your plans in terms of your direction for your craft or your projects moving forward?
Yeah. Uh, I'll be honest, guys. Wala talaga akong plano. De joke lang. No. I'll keep on minting animations siguro, but because parang it's very difficult to balance both yung physical na demands nung making art and the time that is needed to to work on Web3 or to market the work to market the art on Web3. But as far as yung responsibility ko for myself as an artist is to create. So I think the plan is to keep on creating and uh to drop art every time I have an exhibition. So I'll probably be busy next year because I have me- medyo, I have a number of solo exhibitions that are coming next year. So alongside those exhibitions, siguro will be drops na lang na will be coming with the openings na um, animations that I'll be working on while I'm working on my paintings. And um, I do have a few collaboration projects that are going on right now. Parang, I don't know if it's okay to tell it, pero I'm part of the gallery drop na nangyari recently. So I'm one of the artists that are included in the blind gallery drop. So inamin ko na. And
Congrats.
also I'm part of the People of Tesos drop, the third collection that they're dropping. So yun, mostly I'm participating in collaborations. Tapos personally for my art, parang spontaneous lang din naman kasi ako mag-drop. So I don't really do this as a business. Um, um, I drop my one-of-one animations alongside my exhibitions na physical, which sa ngayon I have one ongoing sa West Gallery. And I did a drop nung opening na nung 11th. Tapos ayun, sometimes I just make art. I can't promise utility because parang it's I don't have any background in business or marketing or ano. But the plan is to be a better artist, to be a more important artist. If I may say, parang na I believe that if the artist wins, the holders also win. Parang it's a win-win situation. So yun lang yung plan. To be better.
Okay. Thanks for sharing that. I'm curious. Let's say out of 100%, how much of your time do you spend on your real life exhibition, real life art, and sa NFTs? If you were to say have a ratio.
Um, I can't say, but nung time na parang I was focused on NFTs, parang at least 80% of my time was I gave to creating um parang NFT centric art. But now that parang medyo naging booked yung schedule ko with real life commitments, parang siguro I'm trying to give at least 30% to 40% of my time with NFTs then, because kasama siya dun sa paintings ko. So every time I finish a painting, I extract an NFT out of it. So yun, parang I extract an animation out of the painting. So I think parang 50-50 sila ng work eh. So I think walang specific na ratio, but when I'm working on something, I give it all my time and all my attention. Eh. So yeah, and if I work longer days, more number of days, siguro yun din yung number of days that I'm working on the NFTs.
Okay, interesting, no? That parang the needle change moves in a bit, but right now it's parang more kind of balance, no? And in a way, parang similar kayo ni Distort na there's the physical side you try to put into the NFT, and the NFT side you have like you try to draw out of it to put into the physical side. So it's very interesting, no? How you both bridge it and with both the real physical tangible side to the NFT side, no? How about you, Distort? What are your plans for yourself or your projects? Um, or you're
Okay.
as an artist.
Well, okay. As an artist, the plan is always to, to keep growing, keep evolving, keep pursuing the craft that I love. Um, Projects, I have a few big collaborations coming up. I can't reveal which particular brand yet, but um, like they're going to be exclusive drops that's going to be available to um, members for like how do I say this? Like that particular brand has an exclusive group of members that the release is going to be for, right? Well, at the same time, holders of Monster Mayhem will also get access to that brand's exclusive release. Um, Besides that, um, right before this Twitter space, I announced the winners for the 12 by 12-inch paintings that were seeded into wave 2. So yeah, I'm actually just waiting for people to claim the paintings now. And um, for Monster Mayhem, we've been working on burning. So we're trying to deflate supply of the monsters. And how we're doing this is I created a few physical paintings. They're mostly 24 by 24 inches in size, so 24 by 24 or 2 by 2 feet. And these paintings are exclusively available via burning. So like, if you're a collector and you want to buy the painting, you can't pay with cash or crypto. You have to buy a number of NFTs, and like if you like, let's say if you win the auction for the painting, you have to turn over X amount of monsters to be burned. Uh, yeah, stuff like that.
Interesting. So parang like what Damien Hirst parang did when parang siya naman, you choose whether you want either the painting or the NFT. So, and what's the main reason why you want to decrease the supply?
Oh, well, for one, by encouraging the burning, it will help move the floor, while at the same time, it it will help onboard newer collectors into the space. So these paintings that I've been putting up for, for burning, they're from an older series of works that I do, and I no longer release them. So I don't put them in galleries anymore. I don't sell them directly from my studio. And the only way to get it is by purchasing an NFT and burning that NFT. Yeah, so
Okay,
like
interesting.
I really want to encourage more traditional collectors to get in the space, you know, like I want them to understand what NFTs really are, like what the potential of like all these utilities are. And the best way to learn is to really just jump in and try it for yourself.
Mm-mm. No, that's true. That's true. And I think one thing that I've learned also, the physical aspect is a big draw to getting someone to jump in the NFT space because at least they're holding on to something. And I've heard that from some of our first time collectors. Now, Sherry, it's good that you have these collectible boxes. This is at the time when it wasn't, we didn't even ship it yet at the very early stage because that made them decide to buy because they know they're holding on to something, because they're not yet used to the idea of this art that can be valuable, but you can't really touch it, diba? You can see it in your cell phone, but other than that, you can't show it off to your friends. You can't put it on the wall, no, unless you do your own print, etc. So I think for a lot of the traditional collectors or just a lay person, getting them halfway there is through a digital, there's a physical item. It gives them a lot of comfort, and it gives them a lot of security that they're kind of holding on to something, and at the same time they want to show it off, they want to enjoy it, no, because they're not online all the time compared to degens or a lot of the web3 gamers. They're online all the time, so they can easily view their collections, etc. But a lot of these people have real life occupations, like they're doctors, lawyers, businessmen, so they're all over the place. So having something physical, I think, helps them on board quicker. So maybe no one asked question, so sayang we won't be able to give out prizes tonight. But anyways, maybe we can sort of wrap it up. It's 10:44, and maybe I'd love to ask one round of questions to all our guests. And after that question is so they can think about it. Is what advice? I mean, from all your journey or all your learnings, whether as an artist or whether it's a real life artist or an NFT artist, or in your struggles or in the success, what what would be your advice, no, to people who are starting or who are currently going through what you're doing? But before I ask all of you, stay tuned because towards the end of the uh, session spaces, we will be announcing the winner of the Larry Alcala drop. No, those who participated and retweeted, etc., they're already in our spinning wheel. And my team, I don't know if they already spun the wheel or not yet. They probably have, I think so, usually by this time. And then they probably had a screenshot already of who won the Larry NFT that we're giving away tonight. And we'll give the answer tonight. So, Philippine Who, yes? Go ahead. You have a question for us?
Yes, good evening, and thanks for this space, and congratulations on this project, and good luck with it. Uh, my question is, regarding Larry Alcala, being part of this project, what is it about Larry Alcala's art, or yung basta yung essence ng kanyang naiambag, or yung artwork na to, what is it about it that you like, or that you are attracted to as part of the collaborators ng project na to?
I think that's a very good question. No, very good question. Kasi Larry Alcala's art is so wide and varied, and then he also has other characters. He has 20 comic strips, no, so more than that pa. So it's not just slice of life, no. So what about it? So, Mark, do you want to, on behalf of BPOS, why did your community, decide, or what about Larry Alcala that made your community or the founding people want to be involved in this tribute?
Yeah, sure. Actually, despite being, me not too exposed, with his arts earlier, once he's still alive, I've actually been fascinated with the concept of like, finding him on like those comic style arts, because I distinctly remember before I I actually have this. I'm not sure if it's like a magazine, probably it's comics that I remember when I was like a young, like a child, and then I was very enthusiastic about finding about this. And then it's like lately that I realized that it's actually from Dari Alcaraz. So I think the nostalgia and the the excitement that that is actually one thing that we do like as well.
Mm-mm. Okay, yeah, thanks, Mark. Actually, if all of you can look at the pin tweet, you can see some of Larry's work there, no, and some of the what his city scenes look like. How about for you, Bjorn? What about Larry that made you say yes to distribute?
Well, first of all, like what I told you before, diba, Sharina, I'm a real
Mm-mm.
fan of Larry's.
Mm-mm.
Um, but to answer simbalik si Filipino's question, parang syempre Larry is, I think, Larry is one of the most important icons of Filipino contemporary culture. Parang yung he's very honest in representing the common people, the Filipino lifestyle, parang how he represents humor, how he represents the Filipino humor in his illustrations, and how he presents the daily life ng Filipinos through illustrations. So I think parang a lot of my work parang was really um in one way influenced by his work, kaya parang uh yun yung isa sa reasons why I said yes. Tapos parang yeah, he's a really important figure para sa akin, and not just personally for me, dahil I grew up with um yung mga yung slice of life niya sa newspaper, yung mga Asyong Aksaya, and all these characters that he created. Parang he's creating a universe that's truly Filipino, which is parang parallel to what I'm doing. Hindi man sobrang Filipino nung ginagawa ko, but I think there's Filipino embedded in the work that I do. So parang siguro yun. I relate with his work.
Okay. Thanks, Bjorn. Distort, how about you?
Similar to what Bjorn said. Um, Larry is an icon, and he's a very influential artist, diba? Otherwise, he wouldn't have been awarded to be, diba, a national artist. And as a young artist in the industry, like I hope that through my works, like I can, like I can, I aspire to be, like as influential as Larry. So, like I'm really grateful for this opportunity that, you've given me, to be able to somehow work with Larry, even though he's no longer here.
All right. Thanks a lot, Distort, and thanks, Filipino, for asking. So, my last question. So, I know that Mark has to leave soon for his 11 o'clock, and we'll be wrapping up soon. But, Mark, maybe give us your advice to, with what you've experienced in your lives, journey, sa buhay natin, in your work, or whether with BPOS. What good advice can you give people who are either in the same space or starting out in the NFT or in this area of community or arts? Feel free to let us know your thoughts and your advice.
Yes, for sure. Thank you. Yes, with regards to my advice, I guess is be sure to actually believe in yourself, because the potential of the things that we could actually achieve is actually very, very big. Like, in my case, I was able to achieve a lot of things that I, would not like expect that I would achieve, like a few years ago. So I guess make sure to, to fight for the things that you actually want, because there are things that we do want in life, but it's actually very hard to attain. Be sure to trust your gut as well, because in my case, my gut did help me a lot in my case. And be consistent as well in what you do, and you would achieve a lot of great things.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Mark. How about Bjorn?
And marami akong advice eh. Hindi, joke lang. Um,
Go, give
siguro,
me.
hindi, siguro like what I said before, na parang if possible, parang manage your expectations or try to live with zero expectations, para you won't get frustrated, and you'll learn to appreciate if everything falls into place. Um, but aside from that, kahit wala kang, even if you're not expecting anything from what you're doing, do it with all your love. Parang yung love na parang yun nga, parang pag sinabi mong unconditional love, you don't expect anything in return, diba? Because you love what you're doing. So you're doing what you do, whatever you're doing with unconditional love na you give it your best, give it your best time, best effort, you study it, you research, parang hindi man siya dumating, if it doesn't come the soonest, parang in the long run, parang you're doing it for a grander intention, because the grander the intention, parang mas parang mas masarap, and life parang mas masarap i-treasure if you earn what you're getting from life, eh. So um give it time, give it love, tapos parang believe in yourself then, gaya ng sinabi ni Mark, parang, and be honest, always remember to be honest, be honest sa kung ano man yung nire-represent natin, especially as artists, parang we're representing more than ourselves dun sa ginagawa natin. So um kasama na dyan yung layers ng pagkatao mo, yung pagiging Filipino mo, pagiging kung ano mang estado ng buhay nasan ka, whichever community you belong to, um, you represent it, and be proud of it. So, ano pa ba? Yun lang naman siguro sa ngayon.
I think you guys are on mute. I'm not sure, Scarlett, on your end.
Oh, sorry, I'm the one on mute. Sorry, I'm talking at me and I'm the one on mute pala. Sorry. So, oh my gosh. So thank you, Bjorn and Mark. I mean, very similar message on believing in yourself and have confidence and kind of like acceptance of what you can do. Um, and if you don't have expectations, you won't get disappointed and you'll have much more appreciation with with what's happening. How about you, Distort? What's your advice?
Yeah, stay true to yourself. Don't lose your North Star. It's okay to take detours kasi life's not a race. It's like point A to point B doesn't necessarily have to be a straight line. You can take all the twists and turns that you want. You can get lost, take one step forward, two steps back, but as long as you don't lose sight of who you are, where you're going, where you want to be, as long as you keep pushing, you're going to get there eventually. It's life's not a race, diba? Parang sobrang cliche, but it's true. It's not a race. We don't need to rush things to get where we're supposed to be or where we want to be. Um, but let's strive to live our lives um, as diamonds. Kasi diba, parang diamonds are formed under intense heat and pressure, and it takes a really, really long time for carbon to become as valuable as a diamond. So, ayun, and then yung mga diamonds are multifaceted. So, ayun, live life fully, parang discover yung individual facets mo. Always, parang don't be afraid to make mistakes. But like, don't be afraid to make mistakes, but like, learn from them. Uh, yeah, just live life with tenacity. Sorry, ang daming advice. But yeah, in a nutshell, just keep going, keep doing you.
Mm-mm. Actually, that's very good advice. It reminds me, I really like how you alluded to in diamond. No, it takes a lot of pressure, heat, a lot of hardships, no, to create a beautiful shining stone, no, that becomes very strong. And it reminds me also of like if you look at the sea, it's in the roughest waters or in the area where the roughest waters and the roughest waves that when you look underneath, it's very vibrant. There's lots of corals, there's lots of fishes. It's very alive. There's creatures that are swimming, and it's in the areas where there's lots of rough waters, no? But if you look at the deep sea, and there's very calm, it's very quiet, there's no challenges, are like dead, no? There's not much color. uh all the scary things are there, anglerfish and whatever, but there's not much color, not so alive, there's not much movement. So but it reminds us that sometimes in a lot of it's when it's the most challenging that a lot of the beauty comes out.
Mm-hmm.
It's when we grow the most. It's when we stretch ourselves. That's when a lot of wonderful things can be created as well. When I guess when there's no challenges, um, then that's what happens. No, and in fact, I remember this, that it's privilege. Pressure is a privilege. I remember Coach Chotre had said that pressure is a
Yeah.
privilege. If you have pressure, that means you're doing something that is difficult. That's probably going to bring you to a better space. That's going to take you into to stretch yourself. So it's really a privilege, because not many people can have pressure. Some people can have lives that have no pressure, but they might not grow. Mark, you wanted to add something?
Yes. Sorry. Again, just thank you for the invitation. I just have to attend to another thing for now. But again, thank you guys for the wonderful discussion. By the way, I really appreciated the talk. But I have to leave for now. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Thanks so much, Mark. Thanks so much, Mark. Go ahead. Thank you so much for staying with us, and we're wrapping up soon already. Um, for we also have I've done a team. Guys, are you ready with the winner of the Larry Alcala contest? No. So, anyways, so while I think they're already working on the pin wheel, and they will post it soon. So I just like to thank all our guests tonight. It's been wonderful to have you all. Uh, it's Bjorn and this sort, and earlier Mark, no, and it's very. I also had a lot of takeaways personally, because um, it's how art. One of my major takeaways is how art doesn't cease to be just an outlet for either expression, self-expression, thoughts, but it can also be a lifesaver in how it can help us either with our depression, or with our anxiety, or any other frustrations, or challenges that we have. So that's really nice. Um, I'm also an artist, but maybe not at the level of you. I mean, I did Chinese. I mean, I grew up sketching and painting. I I drew the portraits of my family, and for many years I did Chinese painting. No, but I didn't really. I went to business school, and the closest that I had in terms of education in art is fashion. No? So I do commiserate with how it feels like to be an artist. But I guess because it's your both Bjorn and Dessert, it's your profession. There's a deeper connection how it has affected and has helped more your lives. No? And I do appreciate you both sharing that. Um, so thank you so much, Bjorn and Distort. And so we have already a winner. I think our people put the pin tweet. So the winner of our Larry Alcala NFT is Tandaran Matin Galang. Congratulations, Matin Galang. You're the winner of our free Larry Alcala NFT. And hopefully you might get either to get a Larry Alcala NFT, whether in its common form is wonderful, maybe rare, maybe who knows. But congratulations, for winning and for being a supporter. So I'd like to thank everyone uh, for coming tonight. It's been wonderful. This is a very, very good space tonight. I really appreciate the honesty, the sincerity of our speakers. And we got to know, I mean, I haven't really met Bjorn and Distort personally, but from tonight, I learned more about their persona, their thoughts, their struggles, and their successes. And thank you so much for sharing them. And of course, I'm most grateful that you joined us with our tribute to Larry Alcalano, because he is truly someone that should be even by the younger generations, no, not just people who grew up with him, but even the Gen Z, they don't know him, but the moment they know him, parang, oh my gosh, so galing, so cute, no? And you can really identify. He has so many characters and so Pinoy that you'll be able to identify with may nagpipiko pa, may nagja-jackstone, yung mga ganyan, no? So you really be able to identify with any of his characters. So watch out for it. We are if you are interested, okay, so this is my what I'd like to offer for the people who are still is, if you'd like to be whitelisted and are not yet whitelisted, just give us a direct message at ScarletBox and we'll put you in. Just so that's something that's special that we have for the people listening tonight. Just send us your email address. We would need your email address to be whitelisted and we'll put you in. Other than that, have a very good evening and thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Bjorn, with this story. Thank you, everyone.
Thank
And
you, thank
congrats to our
you.
winner. Thank you. Thank
Thank
you
you.
all. Take care. And let's all see you at the Larry Alcala spaces again next end of the month. Thank you very much, everyone. So I'll be closing the space soon, but thank you so much for joining us tonight. I truly enjoyed it. It was relaxing for me and a lot of learning experience. Bye, everyone.